We're going to talk about a life indicator today, okay? And I'm going to make this really quick but thorough. We're going to talk about a life indicator. Now, what is a life indicator? A life indicator is something that's going to give you some insight on the longevity and the quality of one's life, all right? And there's 3 life indicators. You have your VO2 max, which is like a stress test. Basically, if I walk up a flight of stairs, right? My heart rate is at X. I walk up to a flight of stairs, it rises, right? To Y. How long does my heart rate take? How long does my body take to recover and get my heart rate back down to X? That's your VO2 max, right? And as we age, we know that our heart pumps less blood, which means less oxygenated blood. So that heart rate, right, rises, it becomes more and more important. It gets lower and lower and lower as we age because we just simply cannot pump as much blood through the body, okay? The second is going to be the ability to build lean muscle tissue. And as we age, we lose testosterone, both men and women. In our 3rd decade, we tend to start losing testosterone. That's why you see all these testosterone clinics popping up and all these guys running around getting this testosterone, you know. And I can't tell you how many times I've been walking around and people know what I do and who I am, and they're like, "Hey, man, I've been taking the injection." And I'm like, "Oh Lord, here we go." Yeah. How's that working out for you? You working out? You walking? No, man. I just go once a week. And they give me a little shot and I'm good to go. Thinking, well, you know, if you'd exercise a little bit, you know, move, work out, lift some weights, you'd be amazed how that would go too. So the third, and what's most important to us, is going to be our leg strength, all right? And I've got a list here. I'm going to run through it and then we're going to talk about them briefly, okay? You'll get more information. Remember, guys, all my sources, references are available at mybalanceuniversity.com. Go there. You can print these out and you can have them there available to you. Leg strength, cardiovascular disease, polypharmacy, socializing, the ability to attend sporting events, concerts, and stadiums alike, independence, and life longevity, all right? Now, we're going to talk about these 7 things that are directly impacted by your leg strength, all right? One thing that directly ties to this that is evidence, and it's pretty simple. I have one link on my notes today, and that is it. That's how impactful this is. British Journal of Sports Medicine. You guys know we have been practicing single leg balance in our assessments and at the end of class because it is important. I know that from working in the field. Now, I don't have PhDs and all kind of degrees. I'm not a doctor, but I can tell you this. In 20 years of experience, I've learned a few things. Working with physical therapists, working with physicians, working with people, right? I've been in a room with doctors, physical therapists, 4 of them, and a nurse practitioner, and was explaining what was going on in the field to all of them, all right? I say that only to say this. There is a reason we do the single leg assessment. The British Journal of Sports Medicine now has provided the evidence. About 3 months ago, they came out with research, one-of-a-kind study. It was about 10 years long, and they found the study included people from middle age all the way up into senior age groups. If you cannot stand on one foot for 10 seconds, we do it for 15 because I think it's, you know, I think you got to go over just to make sure. We do it for 15. They did it for 10. If you can't stand on one leg for 10 seconds, your life expectancy is 10 years or less. Boom. Right? That is a direct correlation to your leg strength, right? So, leg strength is a life indicator. Tells us how well we're going to live, how long we're going to live. Cardiovascular disease. If you do not have strong legs, you can't do cardiovascular disease, right? You see the spiral? Okay? Now, polypharmacy. What is polypharmacy? When we take more than one medication. Most of us experience this, especially as we get older. We may be taking medications for diabetes. We may be taking medications for blood pressure. So we want to make sure that what we're taking is appropriate. Some of these medications we can do without by simply moving. Another issue that's not very pleasant is constipation, and this comes oftentimes with pain medications with polypharmacy, right? When you're taking more than one medication. Let me show you something. When I stand up and I walk, I don't know if any of you ladies have noticed this, but gravity as you age tends to pull things down, right? That's what gravity does. It pulls things down. Remember Newton, the apple from the tree? You know what else? When we walk and move around, our blood circulates and acts as lubrication and gets all that stuff moving that are in our intestines. And as we move around, gravity has a chance to pull things down, right? I think you know what I'm talking about. I'm going to leave it at that, all right? We've already had enough of that speak, okay? Socialization, right? So just shift gears really quick. Socialization. This goes to our brain and our nervous system. We know, we've talked about this many times, about how the brain is impacted by exercise and socialization, right? We know the brain is malleable. We know that from the researches and the talks we had. Remember, pull the sources, mybalanceuniversity.com, pull the sources. Whenever people fall, I've seen this time and time again, they tend to withdraw, right? They tend to withdraw, and we talked about common myths. One of the myths is that people think if they move less, they'll fall less. If they don't go out as much, they'll fall less. That's not true. And so what happens when you take away that socialization, you're taking away a lot of things that are going to help our brain stay malleable and function and help us to keep away some of these neurological diseases or prolong their effects, right? Not only that, but we put ourselves at a greater risk for depression, which is a major issue, is a big issue in our senior population. Depression is, all right? Got to have leg strength to be able to walk in different restaurants, walk in different clubs, different events. And this goes to sporting events, stadiums, concerts. You have to have leg strength to navigate those stairs. Maybe it's turns, maybe it's around a lot of people, right? Leg strength is going to help us to navigate, all right? Now, independence. We all want to stay independent for the rest of our life, right? We modified our motto there. You have to have leg strength in order to do that. You have to have leg strength to be able to get yourself up and get to the restroom and back, right? And then quality of life. I just want to cap it by saying this. If there's anything you do for yourself, do yourself a favor and pay attention to your leg strength. When I walk into someone's home and they cannot stand up out of a chair, I know we're in trouble. One little tip I'll give is try to change their mechanics, right? Pull your feet in, get your nose over your toes, lean out like you're going to fall out, and push with your heels. If we can't do that, then this whole meeting, this whole sessions just took a serious turn, because now I am fighting for your life, okay? Now, I know things happen, and I know sometimes you have things out of people's control, but if you're in a situation or you have someone or you have a loved one that has trouble getting out of a chair, that is the beginning of the spiral. Get on that leg strength, even if it's just walking a mile a day, that will help, all right? Let's get going.